We are recording this webinar, so everyone who is on this, you will be getting a link to the recording, and so you can review it again, you can share it, you can pass it around, show it to your colleagues, and get to know a little bit more about what we're going to be showing you. Secondly, any questions, please drop them in the question box, and we'll be happy to answer any questions at the end as we go along. And that's about it, really. So without any further delay, I'll now pass it over to Deep, and Deep will go through a brief presentation and then take you into the demo for IronPulse. Deep, you okay there?
Thank you, Mas. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I've only got about 20 slides. Joking. I've only got about 3 slides, to be honest, just to give you an idea and the flavor of what IronSuite is and how the product was linked together. So, IronTouch, been in the market for a number of years with all our colleagues, our expertise. We came across many organizations which were using large enterprise solutions, but for the smaller, medium-sized organizations. Having said that, we found that the larger organizations are using our software as well as the smaller organizations. So it's one of those funny ones where we've designed it for the SMB market, but the larger organizations are using it because they do feel that it's in their comfort level. The product itself is a very unique but very efficient product itself. It's efficient, integration, the cost of it, and the most important bit of it, the flexibility of the product itself. They link into what we call the service desk. 3 modules all linked together, which the key idea here was to making sure that companies find the most useful applications for their needs. For example, nice and easy password reset, which is flexibility in logging the calls into a service desk, and also from a service desk point of view, remote control, software deployment, imaging can be all done with the most simplest of things. So the key thing here is we've got 3 modules all linked into the IronSuite itself. The Iron Password, which I'm going to demonstrate in another couple of weeks, but I'm more than happy to demonstrate if anybody is interested at a later date, or even the next few days or whatever. Systems management tool, which is the IronPulse, which I'm going to demonstrate, and the service management, which I did last week, and I'm more than happy to demonstrate again if anybody wants to see further information on this. All 3 linked together, which gives us the modules, which is IronSuite, linked it together, fully integrated, gives you a fantastic product, giving you understanding how everything is all linked together. IronPass, like I said, is a fully Active Directory password reset tool. Logs calls into the service desk, gives you a full return on investment. This is only Active Directory calls, and the key thing here is it sends an email, gives you an idea who and where, the location, the IP address, the machine details, and for security reasons, the end user puts their own information in there, the questions they need to answer. The IronPulse, a fantastic product. Gives you many functionalities for a small organization. It's fantastic because of license management, OS deployment, imaging, packet deployment, remote control, and the fundamental of it is the software convergency, which allows you to making sure that each department has the correct software, even though it's got corrupted or it's been deleted. You can actually see the software being deployed again. Moving on from that, it's fully controlled in a controlled environment. It's time saving, so it gives you a lot more functionality within that. The Iron Desk itself, once again, a very powerful service request instant process tool, which allows every call to be logged, updated, and fully return on investment reports can be shown as well. So, giving all this together, the IronPulse, the Iron Password, and the Iron Desk all linked together gives you what we call the IronSuite. So, let's move on to what we call at the end user's desk. Now, here I am at the end user's desk. Now, normally what happens at this moment in time, an end user may forget his password, cannot log in, and I'm going to show you a little bit about the password reset just to show you how it's all linked together. And they come along and they press the, to log on details, and they can't log in and the system's been locked. And we have what we call a URL link here. This URL link takes us directly into what we call our password reset tool, which is the IronPass. I come along and I put in the user's details in there. Stephen Day is our end user, and I go along and put it in. Domain's already captured. By putting the user's details in there, I can do a number of key things. Reset or unlock the screen. Let's say I just want to reset the password, for example here. I'll put in a number of details, the end user's credentials. He may want to have those to hand. For example, mother's maiden name, date of birth, etc., etc. Notice I've only got 2 questions here, so it makes it nice and simple. You can have 3, 4, 5. It's entirely up to yourself. Next series, father's middle name, and I'll put in the details in there. It goes along and it synchronizes to Active Directory, and it goes along and says whatever credentials I've got in Active Directory, I shall put them in here. So I go along and put the details in here, put a new password in there, press next, and that goes along and resets it into Active Directory, comes along and says yes, I've reset your password, you can go along now, put in the new password, and you can carry on as nothing has happened. Now, for those of you which actually think nothing has happened, what's actually happened in the background is very nicely, the call has been logged into the service desk. So nice and easy, a call's been logged. Secondly, the call has automatically will be emailed to the end user to say, hey, we know who you are, where you are, your location, your department, and we can actually start seeing the measurements of those calls which are coming into the system itself. So it's a very powerful mechanism which allows the end users to give you full information on what's happening, when it's happening with the system itself, logging the calls, updating the calls, and giving you full information. Now you can actually have your own mechanism coming back here which gives you information about the end user, for example, you know, the subject line, the details which are occurring on the system itself. Now, all nice and well, you know, your calls have been logged, they've been updated within the system itself, but more importantly, you know, one thing what we really want within the system itself is to log our calls into the service desk itself, logging them, updating them, and seeing exactly what's happening within the system itself. We have what we call the Iron Desk itself, which allows the system itself to go along and log these calls, and making sure every call which is being logged, it's coming into the central point for a reporting basis, return on investment. So key things are actually giving us information. As you can see from here, we're logged in as a service portal as the end user. NT authentication, you don't have to remember a username and password. It's all logged into our portal itself. Key things what we can do here, and I'm just going to show you this because it gives us a good understanding about how calls are being done. I can go along and request information from here. So for example, request information, and going along and say I want to request a piece of software or a hardware. And all I'm doing is I'm requesting software here, and I'm saying request. And what the software I require, I say making sure it's iPlayer or you know, can't seem to read file. So all I'm doing is at this moment in time I'm creating a call into the system itself. The reason I'm creating a call because I'm going to show you how easy it is to manage these calls within the help desk and also from an IronPulse point of view itself. If I come over across here, I'm going to show you our product called the IronPulse. This is what we're talking about today. Very, very powerful, but very easy, efficient tool itself. Gives you a full usage of all your machines. For example, the disk space of the machines. It shows you the server data information on there. Your support desk, which can be automatically shown. This is basically a tool where our support analysts can easily go along and manage our machines itself. Got the full dashboard of reports which are coming across, number of computer inventory which is showing. We can actually have further reports on here, give you a further dashboard if you wish to have information on there. But more importantly, you've got updates can easily be installed just by clicking on the updates of your patches of your machines can be automatically being patched from a central point if you want to do from here. And also install updates on any other applications which are available to you. User information, Active Directory list of all your users which are there. And as you can see from here, I can go along and log a link directly into a service desk if I wanted to see if there's any issues for a particular user, not only for a machine type, but for a user. Notice I've said user, not machine. The reason I'm saying that is because you can also do it for a machine. Down to groups, I can see a list of all my groups. I'm only logged onto one domain, but you can actually have multiple domains which are on here. Add a different domain, add a different user if you wish to have that. And down to computers, and I can see from here I've got all the list of all my computers, which I can actually go down to that level, onto computer level, see the hardware, the software, the storage, the memory card, everything I need to know about the computer itself. It has a little mini agent onto the end user's machine, but gives you so much information about the user itself. More importantly, not only on the machine itself, but even down to the asset level of the machine. For example, it will give you information, the warranty information of that machine. When was it purchased? How long the warranty information for? Compile that into your service desk. You've got a full history of all your asset information about that machine. When people actually ask us, well, does it patch the machine? Yes, it can patch the machine. Can you remote control the machine? Yes, you can remote control the machine directly from here. But furthermore, you can also look at the virus updates. When was it last patched update for your antivirus? It gives you a full reporting mechanism on that. Hardware. You can see exactly the hardware of the machine. Storage, if there's a storage information on there, how the disk is partitioned. Your network cards, from your IP address, your MAC address information. This was fantastic. We came across a site only a few days ago where it actually it was actually given too much data out on the network itself, and it was grinding the network to a halt. By putting the sniffer onto your network, we found out the MAC address of the machine, just from the machine level here, that tells us exactly where the machine was, which was causing us the problem. Software level, and once again, we got a full list of all your software, the sizes, the install level, has the machine been, got the software on there, all the type of software that you need to making sure that the license count is available on your machines itself. So it gives you a full history of all the software which is available. History level of the machine, we got, when it was the last inventory, we've got all that information as well covered directly from the system itself. Now, the great piece of software, what we've also enabled is what we call a backup solution on here, backup and restore. Now, people always ask us, why did we want to have backup installed on the piece of software? Well, fantastically, you can go along and back up your machines as a full backup, incremental backup, or any time that those machines are available. So, a great mechanism for backing up all your machines from a given point in itself. So you don't have to worry about has the machine lost any data or anything like that, because the machines are fully backed up from a central source. Having said that, not only are we saying is it backed up, but you can also restore any piece of software which is available onto a machine. For example, here I've got my file here. I'm logged in as Stephen Day on that machine. I can go down to desktop, go down to desktop file, and see I can go along and restore any of this file just by clicking on the restore file here. I can go along and restore that file directly to the end user's machine. So not only are you backing up, but you're restoring also the file mechanism which is there. Imaging, once again, fantastic type of solution. OS imaging, deployment imaging of a machine, capturing the image of a machine. It's all very powerful from a central point again. Managing those master disk, deploying the whole image to a machine itself. You've got a bare machine which is just coming to your network itself. You put it on your network, you press the F5 key, it boots up, it finds the PXE, and straight away you're deploying an image directly from a point to point. Why have we put it into the pulse mechanism, into the service desk? Because you can report against it, you can deploy the image on it, you can deploy the software directly to a central point from a reporting basis. Inventory of the machine. hey presto, I've got nothing there. Why not? Because I've actually got only new computers linked on there. If I do a drop-down list, I can go along and see, you know, a mechanism. And as you can see from here, I've got a full list which is in there. Also, I've got an audit history, which is happening on a full level of audits which are occurring here. I've got a full audit history on all the machine level, exactly the software which is being deployed, when it was deployed, when a security patch was being released. Everything I need to do about an audit is all already available for me. Packages, once again, I've got all my packages which I can deploy to the end user's machine from a central point as well. Very powerful, very easy. The key thing here is I can also, if I wanted to, click on here and call up the Iron Desk itself. Now before I call the desk up itself, going down to computer level, I can go along and do key things from here. Remote controlling directly from here, remote controlling the end user's device. Clicking on here, I can go along and see how many calls are actually logged on to the end user's machine. Not the user, but the end user's machine. So by ticket, by user, I can see all these calls are actually logged for that machine level. By the user level, how many calls were logged on that particular user. So you're on the user level, but machine level, and also you can go along and create a brand new call if you wish to for that person. If I go back into Pulse, not only are we looking at this mechanism, what we've got here, I can go along and deploy a software directly to the machine from here as well. Patch updates, I can go along and do a complete patch update of the machine. So your OS images patches I can automatically do from a central point. I can go along and give a full report on the machine types, the level, just by clicking on here, choose any type of report I wish to, and it can give me reports onto the mechanism. People always ask, well, can we report against this? Can we report it? There's so many reports here, it's actually mind-blowing. Click on the Iron Desk, you can go straight into the Iron Desk itself, and you can see all the calls which are logged for machine level, the user level. Every type of call has actually been logged into the system itself. By clicking on the user level from here, I can click on the machine, the user level, find at the machine level that this is a machine, and just exactly what I did from the Iron Desk, I can go into IronPulse directly from here and see the mechanism of the storage, the hardware, the licensing count, and even if I can go along and deploy a piece of package if I wish to directly from here. So not only are we deploying packages from the IronPulse, but we're also doing it from the Iron Desk. Password reset was already done. I've logged the call from there. So each call which is being done, I can actually report against it. I can drill down further. I can see down to the level of how the call's being done. So it gives us a full history on every call, every information which is being logged, updated within the system itself. So today's talk was to show you about the Pulse level itself and how the Pulse level is being as a tool set is all geared around the Iron Desk, the IronPulse, full mechanism, everything linked together. And for companies which we've tried to hit the 750 below mark or 500 below mark, we found that companies are actually geared up for well over 3,000 to 4,000 user sites. So from anything from a 50 user site to a 5,000 user site, this type of tool is brilliant for you guys to use. Thank you for taking the time for this demonstration. If there's any questions, please go along and ask away. Mars, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks, Deep. That was very very good, excellent demonstration. Very comprehensive. I know you covered a lot of ground there, and there's probably going to be a lot of questions that come up. But there's been a few popping up as we go along. One question that's been asked is that the tag cloud that you showed sort of towards the end of the presentation, is that updated in real time? Does that change in real time?
Yes, it does, Mars. So this tag cloud, what we've got is so the number of calls which are being logged, maybe for a virus problem or a network problem, they automatically start appearing. The bigger the fonts get bigger, and they start popping in front of you to say, hey, there's more calls. So it comes down to I wouldn't say. It comes down to understanding how your site is actually logging calls, so you can actually predict, not to understand if more calls are coming in for a particular software or a hardware or anything, you know where the issues are actually lying.
Okay, okay, good. Another question that's been posed by Jeff. What are the minimum requirements in terms of server versions, desktop versions, so on and so forth?
The minimum requirements for the server itself, we normally say have a couple of servers, but I can send you the details of the server. But they don't have to be very powerful servers itself. They can reside on the current servers. They can be VMware servers, Windows 2012, 2000, 2008 servers. So anything above that, you can actually have them resided on your network. But majority, what we found is more and more companies are using these on virtual servers itself. So it makes the footprint very low, very easy to use and to manage as well.
Okay, great. Do you have some other questions there that have come through, Deep?
Yes, I have. I've got a couple of questions which are being popped across. One of the questions is by remote controlling the device, by remote controlling these devices from your network, can they be done from a service? Yes, you can. So you can remote control from the Pulse and also from the Iron Desk itself. And you can get password protection as well. So when you're logging in, you can actually do a password protection as you do that. I got another call asking a question about password reset. Is this for Active Directory? Yes. The password reset is for Active Directory, and the good thing about it is because it's linked into the desk itself, so each call has been logged, updated, and sent back. Got another question on Pulse, which users asking, by gathering all your data information, can you have license? Yes, you can. You can have what we call license counts on your software itself, so it gives you a full report on all the licenses which are available for your mechanism. Got one more question. OS deployment. Do you need to capture an image? Well, when we talk about OS deployment, one of the key things is that you can capture an image of a machine and also have it on your shared location, so you can deploy that image back to the end user's machine, and also change the settings if you wish when you're deploying that image to any new machines out there. I hope that's answered. Yeah, it has. If there's any further questions, please ask away. Or if there's anything other than that, please send us an email. We're more than happy to answer your questions and give you further feedback if you wish to have that. How often is the release of Pulse? The Pulse release of the product itself, we normally have patch updates on a regular basis. So if there's any feature updates, they're normally sent every quarter. So we try and do a little mini patch release on a quarterly basis. So, but the small patches itself, they can be on a regular basis. So sometimes companies actually say, well, can we have a point fix or a point patch release? They're commonly available as we go along.
Deep, we've got a couple more questions that have just come in. One from Andrew. Does this need SQL Server to run?
No, it doesn't. It can run on MySQL itself, so you don't need to have a license count for SQL.
Okay, another question from Jeff. How is the inventory populated?
Inventory is populated by two mechanisms. One is it has an agent onto the end user's machine, and it captures that information and it sends it back to a central repository, and then from service desk it has both mechanisms from there to give you a full inventory of that machine.
Good. Okay. Another question from Jim. When you remote in, are you seeing the user session?
When you say yes and no, that's when you say remote sessioning. When you remote controlling the machine itself, you're going to see that end user's details, which is on the screen. But the end user can deny you access to remote control. It depends on how you set the privileges.
Okay. And another question from Jeff about affordability. How is it priced? By PC or by user? It's priced by node, isn't it, Deep?
Yes, it is. It's priced by node. I'm not a salesperson here, but I'm sure someone like Rod or John or somebody else can actually send them the details on how much it is. But the affordability, what we found is, I mean, I was just to give you an idea, I was up against a number of organizations the other day, and they couldn't actually believe that so much of this application was affordability for their organization, and they were a 350 user site, and they liked it so much that the IT manager turned around and told a friend of his who actually had a site of 2,500 user sites, and they wanted demonstration as well yesterday, and they just thought that, you know, just by having the password reset, you know, saved them so much costings, and by having the password reset, the whole 3 modules was even cheaper than that they purchased the complete help desk for. So that just gives you an idea of the affordability of the application, and having 3 modules all linked together for the price of a service desk, which they would tend to buy.
Yeah, Jeff, I think probably the best thing is we'll get one of the guys, either John or Rod, to give you a call directly and talk about your specific requirements, and then they can come up with a price for your particular organization. Right. Okay. So that's all the questions we've got time for right now. Like I said, we have recorded this webinar. We'll be putting it up and sending everybody a link to it. I've also sent you, if you look in your chat box, I've sent you the link for registering for the next webinar, which is going to be focused on the IronPass, which is the remote password reset capability of IronSuite. Now, I know Deep touched upon it briefly this evening, but we'll do another demo in depth on that. That's on the 26th of February at the same time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. GMT time. So thank you very much, everyone. We said we'd keep this to half an hour, which I think we've just about done. Thanks, everyone. And if you have any other questions in the meantime, please drop them into me and we'll get them answered for you. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you on the 26th. And Deep, thanks very much for that demo. And see you all again very soon. Thanks very much.
Thank you.